I used to think that debt was a math problem with a math solution. Let me tell you how a grocery store cashier with 3 jobs, a jar of rice and beans, and the slow, humiliating realization that I was the problem, not the interest rates, not the economy, not my luck, taught me that escaping debt isn't about numbers, it's about identity, and that the person who borrowed their way into crisis cannot borrow their way out. My name is Marcus. I'm 36 years old. I spent 8 years digging a hole I convinced myself was a foundation, and another 4 years climbing out with bleeding hands. This is the story of how I learned that 0 isn't empty, it's light, it's possible. It's the only number that lets you start building instead of bailing. The old me was performing success. I had the apartment with the view, the car with the payment, the wardrobe that signaled professional advancement. I had $17,000 in credit card debt, a car loan underwater by $8,000, and student loans I'd stopped opening because the statements induced nausea. I told myself everyone lived this way, that debt was the price of admission to adulthood, that my income would grow, that I'd consolidate, that I'd figure it out eventually when the next promotion landed. What I was doing was drowning slowly, comfortably, acceptably. I made $72,000 a year and had less than $300 in checking on the 15th of every month. I paid minimums like tithes to a religion of avoidance. I transferred balances to new cards with promotional rates, patting myself on the back for financial savvy, while the principal grew like mold in walls. The breaking point wasn't dramatic. No repossession, no bankruptcy filing, no intervention from worried family. Just a Tuesday in January, standing in a grocery store, card declined for $43 of groceries I'd already bagged. The cashier, Elena, was 60, maybe 65. She'd seen this before. Her face held no judgment, which somehow made it worse. "Try again," she suggested. "Sometimes it's the machine." It wasn't the machine. I knew. I'd known for weeks. Avoiding the math, hoping for a miracle that doesn't come to people who avoid math. I had to abandon the groceries, walk past the line I'd held up, drive home to an apartment I couldn't afford, past a car I didn't own, wearing clothes purchased with money I'd never earned. I sat in my car for an hour, not crying, just present. Finally present with the reality I'd been paying minimums to avoid. I owed $31,000, I had $400 in savings, my monthly minimums exceeded my grocery budget, and I was one missed paycheck from catastrophe that would cascade through every carefully maintained illusion. I needed to change. Not my income, though that would help, not my interest rates, though I'd negotiate those later. I needed to change who I was. The person who believed that appearances mattered more than security, that I deserved comfort I hadn't earned, that future me would somehow be more disciplined, more capable, more able to handle what present me kept creating. Future me was a fantasy I used to justify present me's destruction. I found Elena 3 weeks later, not deliberately. I was working extra shifts. My job allowed overtime, which I'd previously avoided because I was too busy being tired from maintaining illusions. She was working her second shift of the day. Different store, same uniform. I recognized her before she recognized me. "I want to thank you," I said, "for not making that worse, for seeing me." She looked at me, really looked, and saw something. Desperation, probably. Determination, hopefully. "You want to get out?" she asked. Not get ahead, not get stable. Get out. "Yes." She wrote an address on my receipt. Saturday, morning. Come hungry. Her house was small, older, paid for, I learned later, through 20 years of 3 jobs and 0 vacations. She fed me rice and beans, the meal she'd eaten 4 times weekly for a decade, the meal that funded her freedom. I was $50,000 in debt, she said, without preamble. Medical, husband's drinking, my own stupidity, trying to fix both with money I didn't have. I was you, performing success while drowning. "What did you do?" I asked. "I stopped performing." She pulled out a jar, clear glass, no label, filled with rice. "Every dollar I didn't spend on appearance, I put here, visually, so I could see it, so I couldn't pretend it didn't exist." She shook the jar. The sound was substantial, real. The debt snowball method. They teach you smallest balance first for psychological wins. I did biggest interest first for mathematical sense. But the real method was this. I became someone who looked at money, who touched it, who felt the weight of spending instead of the swipe of abstraction. She handed me a notebook. "Write down every dollar you spent last month. Every single one. Don't judge, just witness. Then tell me what you see." I did. It took 6 hours. The coffee I didn't taste, the subscriptions I didn't use, the treating myself that happened 3 times weekly, the convenience that cost triple what effort would require. I saw a person who didn't believe he deserved to struggle, who thought comfort was compensation for existence rather than reward for discipline, who was paying interest on a life he couldn't afford to maintain the fiction that he could. Elena said, reviewing my numbers, "You make enough. That's not your problem. Your problem is you think this income is temporary, that you need to enjoy it while it lasts, that future you will handle the consequences. Future you is present you with more debt. That's the only guarantee." The plan was brutal in its simplicity. Not easy, never easy, but simple. I sold the car, bought a beater with cash. Embarrassing, unreliable, paid for. I moved to a smaller apartment, further from work, with roommates I didn't know. I wore the same clothes until they wore out. I ate rice and beans, beans and rice, with variations that became creative challenges rather than deprivation. I worked more. Every overtime shift, every side gig, every hour of my life that wasn't recovery became income. Not to maintain lifestyle, to kill debt. I called my creditors, all of them, negotiated rates, explained situation, accepted that my credit score would suffer temporarily while I stopped the bleeding permanently. Some helped, some didn't. All were addressed rather than avoided. Most importantly, I told people. The shame I'd hidden became the accountability I needed. My friends learned I was doing this debt thing. Some drifted away, uncomfortable with my refusal to participate in expensive socializing. Others stayed, found free ways to connect, respected the boundary I was finally enforcing. Isabel from accounting became my check-in partner. Weekly texts. Still on track? Still on track. The external witness mattered. The performance of discipline became, slowly, actual discipline. Month 6, I paid off the smallest card, cut it up, mailed the pieces back with a note. I don't need you anymore. Petty, satisfying, real. Month 14, the car loan. Month 22, the credit cards. Month 31, the student loans, negotiated down, paid aggressively, finally gone. I cried at my kitchen table. Elena, who I'd kept updated, who'd become friend and mentor, came over. We ate rice and beans, celebrated with the food that had made it possible. "I don't feel different," I said. I thought I'd feel free, light, something dramatic. "You feel possible," she said. "That's better. Freedom is just the absence of weight. Possibility is the presence of choice. You can choose now. That's the gift." I'm 40 now, 4 years debt-free. I make less than I did at 32, changed careers, started over, prioritized meaning over climbing. But I keep more. I build more. I sleep through nights without the 3 a.m. panic of unopened statements. I have 6 months of expenses saved, not because I'm paranoid, but because I remember.
I remember the weight. I remember the denial. I remember the person I was who thought that zero was failure, that owing was normal, that future me would somehow be more capable than present me was willing to be. I teach now. Community classes, workplace workshops, online content. Not from expertise. My methods were crude, personalized, probably suboptimal for tax purposes, but from testimony, from the lived knowledge that escape is possible, that the math is simple, but the psychology is brutal, that the person in debt must become someone else to get out. The lesson, if you need it, debt is not a math problem. It's a behavior problem wearing math's clothing. The interest rates matter less than the identity that accepted them. The income matters less than the discipline to direct it. You cannot borrow your way out, cannot consolidate your way to freedom, cannot earn enough to compensate for spending that outpaces every raise, every bonus, every windfall. You must become someone who looks at money, who feels the weight of spending, who chooses actively, daily, invisibly, to prioritize future possibility over present comfort. The rice and beans aren't punishment, they're practice. The practice of distinguishing need from want, of finding satisfaction in enough, of building the muscle that says not yet to immediate gratification. The jar matters, the visual, the tactile, the removal of money from abstraction into presence. You must see what you're building, feel what you're denying, witness your own choices becoming different. And you must tell someone. The shame thrives in secrecy. The accountability grows in witness. Find your Elena, your Isabel, the person who won't judge your past, but will verify your present. Zero isn't empty. It's the only foundation that holds weight, the only platform from which you can build something that lasts. I'm Marcus. I was $31,000 in debt. I was performing success while drowning. I became someone else, slowly, humiliatingly, permanently. And that someone built his way to zero. You can too. The math is simple. The identity change is hard. Both are possible. Both are necessary. Start with rice and beans. Start with looking. Start with becoming someone who doesn't need to borrow from a future that never arrives.